Hey guys, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing today? It is Friday, thank the good Lord above, and I am so confused on my days because literally I knew that I streamed with Captain Kern yesterday, and I know we always do that on Thursdays. Mr. Squid got home last night, and I'm like, he said something about not working because he doesn't work Fridays unless it's overtime. And he said something about going to the old house and doing some stuff. And I'm like, don't you have to go to work? He's like, it's Friday. For some reason, I was thinking yesterday was Wednesday. I have no idea what is happening to my days. I am confused. I am dazed and confused. So today, we are going to get into talking about part 3 of the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. This is the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. After we are done with this, we are going to look at his version of events that he put on his website, and then we are going to talk about his lawsuit. Not a counterclaim, a completely separate lawsuit. And then we're going to take a look at articles and compare what we've seen in the lawsuits compared to what's written in the media and see if they're anywhere near accurate. And look at the discrepancies. So my room is a little weirder today. I don't have any lights on. I got curtains. Mr. Squid hung me a curtain rod yesterday. So I have curtains completely new. I have a rug. I have a nice 5x7 rug with a rug pad. So like it's squishy. It's, the little, like if I could take my camera and I'll give you a tour sometime of this room sometime soon. But like it's starting to come together where it's not so echoey. So I do apologize for my echoey audio lately, but it is slowly getting better once we get more soft surfaces in this room, right? At first it was hardwood floors, a shelf, and a desk. Like all hard surfaces to jump off of. You're in the middle of a nice 4-day weekend. Yes, and I will after I get done here, I'm going to be doing a couple of things around the house before I run errands, and I will have the little call you and FaceTime. So yeah, that starts to happen when you don't go out much. Yeah, and I've been so worried about getting this house in tow. Thank you for the people who have donated to the Amazon housewarming list. I appreciate you guys so much. I got the bottles and I have all the things, and I will go through and thank everybody one by one on a different stream. We'll just do a shoot the shit stream. But y'all are awesome. Like I can't even thank you guys enough. Got the dish drying pad, like got to throw out the old grody dish drying rack that, after a while changes color, and no matter how hard you scrub it, it just, for the life of me, does not change back to its original color. We still got to send you that, Harley. There were 2 people that bought the same thing. They for some reason, the registry I don't know if y'all bought them at the same time, but curtains and the unicorn laundry basket. I will be returning those other ones, and I already bought her like a unicorn thing for her room. That was the same price. So I don't know whose I returned, and I wasn't playing favorites by returning one. I just picked one. Good morning, Dion. How are you this morning? I haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're doing well. All right, so we left off on paragraph 101. And we are getting through about 50 paragraphs a day, average. We are going to just try to breeze through it as quickly as possible. It is one of those things where it's like, y'all, it's just a lot. But it's well written. I just don't like the contents, and it's very graphic. All right. And this is in regards to the fact or accusation. Mr. Baldoni objectified Miss Lively and other women by commenting and criticizing their bodies as objects. And I'm going to be leaving out certain words, not only for my mental health of reading a romance novel on screen, but I also have the little here, and I don't want to get eaten by YouTube. So if I, skip over some words, y'all can see it, y'all can read it and make your own mental pictures about what you think is actually going on. There is 141 pages in this document. There's 167 or 68 in his. And then there is his receipts that he dropped before he filed his lawsuit, but after she filed hers. Kind of his, like, she said all this thing in her complaint, but here's the receipts. So we are going to look at that, and he posted all that on the website. So he made all that public, which is like, I am all about receipts. Like, if you're going to talk shit about someone and you're going to file a lawsuit against someone, you better bring your receipts. And the fact that he's making all these receipts public, to me, is more believable. Because it's one of those things of, if you just talk shit about somebody, but you don't back it up with anything, that's just your opinion. It's not a fact. If you back it up with receipts, I'm a little more, you're a little more believable. Hello. Oh, okay. Bye. She wants to be picked up, but she doesn't want to be picked up. There we go. Hi. Girl, your hair. All right. I'm on this side of the dirt, so it's a good day at 61. I'm beginning to feel my age, body age, feeling my own mortality. Yeah, I wake up every day in some sort of discomfort, so I can completely understand that. Something hurts all the time. Is that so? Okay, can we read? Or are we going to clap? Are we going to read? Let's read. Okay, let's read. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, you always say have proof. That's because if you don't have proof, that is just your opinion. And opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got them and they all suck or stink. So it's like your reputation is everything. And if you don't show receipts, your reputation is just an opinion. You can't present things as fact, but not actually show evidence. I don't believe people. My dad can answer this one for you. I don't trust people within an ounce of, like, I don't trust people as far as I can throw them. And since I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks, I am not that strong. So I do not trust people. I trust receipts. Everybody's got an opinion. That doesn't mean they're all right. And you might think that your opinion is correct. But as we've learned yesterday about the Gene Hackman thing, I was reading, and I haven't read, I've heard the things changed, or it's now suspicious, whatever. It's not my concern. But my concern is the fact that how many people thought he died of carbon dioxide poisoning. I'm just going to leave that right there. And those people thought they were correct. So just because you also think that you are correct does not mean you are. Just because you think you are right does not mean you are. Believe nothing. People tell you only half of what they prove to you with their facts. Yeah, like people. Okay, I have an issue with something that I have to like address. The people that keep all the what the hell's depositions. The only one that is on Pacer, and I look every day. I check Pacer every day to see if there's new documents. The only document that is on Pacer, as far as depositions, is Jeremy's original one at the beginning of December. Or whatever, the first one, the one that was argumentative as hell. So if anybody ever tells you that they got it off of Pacer, they're either not telling you the truth, or they don't actually look at Pacer. Someone sends them everything. So believe nothing, because people will lie to you. And sometimes they don't know they're lying because people get sent things all the time. But when people Yeah. Yeah. So if they ever tell you they're on Pacer, because certain people have told certain other people, and I'm not naming names, but there's a reason that I don't talk to people. Like there's a reason that I don't trust people, is because I've been lied to multiple times with something that I easily proved by I don't know, having a Pacer account. I've been told by at least 2 people that, oh, they got them off Pacer. No, the fuck you didn't, you lying piece of shit. So you lied. You're either dumb or you're lying. And I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not stupid. So there's a lot of people lying. Yeah, everybody lies. Everybody lies. So yeah. It's one of those things of like, if someone tells you they got it on Pacer, they're full of shit. Like they're absolutely full of shit. I'm not naming names, but I have a beef. I have a personal like I was sent screenshots of somebody that I trusted, and I yeah, somebody's lying. Like I ain't calming down for shit because people lie. So what you read and what people tell you, when I don't understand why people lie about easily provable facts. Like when someone says it on Pacer, it's like, I've looked, it's not on Pacer. You're full of shit. So, but I guess that's when people send you stuff all the time and you never actually have to go looking for stuff yourself. Yeah, when you never actually have to go looking for things yourself, because people, maybe you truly don't know. I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not really sure. So, on another day, Miss Lively wore a low-cut dress to facilitate breastfeeding, but had it covered up with a coat. When the jacket briefly popped open at one point to reveal the dress, Mr. Baldoni commented on how much he liked her outfit, which flustered Miss Lively. Okay, with this, I'm sorry, wore a low-cut dress facility. They make clothing specifically for breastfeeding that is modest, but can easily be available when needed. Like, trust me, I know, I've been there. I did it for a year. Well, 15 months. I did it. I wore those shirts, those tank tops, everything. This is... Yeah, it's one of those things of don't lie when something's super easily provable. Like the whole subscriber count. Like, that is an easily provable thing. It takes 30 seconds to fact check that. Like, don't lie about something that is so super easy. This will be my only stream of the day unless there is something posted, but it's Friday, and that's when somebody likes to file all their motions on Friday. Like they think it's going to be, the news cycle is going to pass them by or something. Doesn't really work. So I don't want Squid to blow a blood vessel. I won't, I promise. But like this, even how this is worded, like why would you wear a low-cut dress when you were already feeling uncomfortable? They make breastfeeding clothing. They make bras that are nursing bras. They make nursing clothing. You don't need to wear a low-cut dress. And I'm not trying to victim blame, because y'all know that sets me off every time. But like when you already claim to be uncomfortable and then you wear a low-cut... No. What? No. She's pointing at something and I don't know what she wants. So, there's that. Angel. Here. Oh, she wanted it unlocked so she could play music. Boy, we're at that phase where she knows what she wants, she just can't say it, and it frustrates the hell out of her, which frustrates the hell out of us because we don't know what she wants. But hey, Kathy, I just want to, Kathy, you're one of the people that I want to thank, that I know specifically for the this stuff from the registry. I appreciate you so much. I think you bought the same thing as somebody else, so I'm returning one because there's multiple things, but so ice cream. Yeah, she did it to look hot, plain and simple. Shallow women like that can't resist. I believe she is shallow. I believe also when you're breastfeeding, you're very uncomfortable with yourself in general, and with the emotions of the hormones that your hormones stay elevated to facilitate breastfeeding. So some of these things that she claims, I'm not saying didn't happen, but might be way more dramatized. When your hormones are raging, things matter that you look back and you're like, why did I, like, that was silly of me to freak out about something so simple. Like I've literally cried over spilt milk. Literally cried over spilt milk. I was emptying one of my pumps and I spilled it and I bawled for like 20 minutes. And Mr. Squid's looking at me like, what do I do here? Like, what do I do here? So, yes, I believe it was one of the same things as somebody else ordered, and why it let people order two things, I'm not really sure, but I am returning one just to and I've got her something else for her room. So I think I got a unicorn like sign that says like, be brave, or you are brave, you are smart, you are, positive affirmations. And then I'm going to get a switch cover that's a unicorn. So we're working on the unicorn theme slowly but surely. So she invited him in her trailer with the boob out. And I'm sorry, like, I breastfed and it was like, I got to do what I got to do. I don't care who's around, but like, I still tried to be somewhat not flashy, if you know what I mean. Good morning, Poor Marine. How are you? And Peachy, good morning. Hi to everybody. If I didn't say hi to you individually, sometimes it gets hard to do that. Later that day, Mr. Baldoni pressured Miss Lively, who was in her pre-approved wardrobe, to remove her coat in front of the crew and multiple background actors in a packed bar. He said that he wanted to see her onesie under the coat because it was zipped low to reveal her lace bra. Consistent with past practice, he said, "I think you look sexy," in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. Okay, you know what I would do in that situation? I would tell that person to shut the hell up. I wouldn't exactly use words as nice as that, but you just, yeah, not in your face about it. Like, she wouldn't eat if her head was covered. So I couldn't do certain things. So like, public was not a huge deal, or a huge thing, but like, I would turn away from people. Like, I wouldn't be like in the, middle of the room, like, hey, y'all, look at me, I'm breastfeeding. That would be like, I'm going to face the wall. I'm going to sit here nicely and quietly while she eats. She wouldn't eat with her head covered, so I couldn't do any of that, cover up stuff. But at the same time, would you want to eat with a blanket over your head? Yeah, if we don't want to do it, why would we expect babies to do it? Just my I'm scared of pregnant women. They are always throwing air fryers. It's just, when with other female cast members present, she said, "That's not what I'm going for." He bristled and replied, "I'm sorry, hot." Deeply uncomfortable, Miss Lively said, "Not that either." Mr. Baldoni responded sarcastically, "I guess I missed the HR meeting," and walked away. Another woman on the production spoke to Miss Lively afterward and offered empathy and to share her own similar experiences with Mr. Baldoni, commenting about her in sexual terms. And we also have to remember that this is liberal in a and Pamela, I appreciate that. I have it. Somebody else asked me about like ordering extra stuff too. I have some haters. So I can possibly change it, but I didn't want weird stuff and random stuff showing up at the house, even though technically, yeah, I could return it and I could just use the money for something else. But it was like, I was a little hesitant because this is the first time I've ever done anything that like a public list like that. And I was like, let me just put it for approved items only, just for my sanity and possible safety later. Like, it's yeah. When a kid is hangry, they got to be fed. Like, you work on their schedule. You don't work on yours. Lively runs around with neckline cut to belly button. She enjoys showing herself off. Yeah, and honestly, I can't say that if I wasn't super skinny and in shape and gorgeous like that I probably wouldn't do the same either. But I also wouldn't be surprised if people commented on it. I wouldn't feel shocked and like, oh my God. Like, do not touch anybody. Do not assault anybody. Do not harass anybody. But at the same time, when you wear a low cut or a low anything, 75 to 80% of the time, you know what you are doing. You know that you're going to get certain reactions, and you do it anyway. So like, it's kind of a, get gray area of like, yeah, people shouldn't, but you're going to. It's a weird conundrum of life. Yay! Everybody wish Flash fan good luck. As a result of Mr. Baldoni's behavior on May 29th of 2023, another cast member lodged a harassment complaint against Mr. Baldoni's gross and unwanted comments towards her and others. While on the one hand, Mr. Baldoni was objectifying Miss Lively as an object, on the other hand, he went out of his way to message criticisms of her age and weight. This one we've talked about. I don't think he criticized her weight. I'm gonna put that right there. What I think happened, based on being a woman and interpreting things extremely wrong when you're hormonal, he had a back injury and had to lift her up. He might have made a comment like, "Oh, that's going to be hard for me." But I don't think it had to do with her being fat. It had to do with his back injury. My interpretation. The receipts may show otherwise, but just reading this, I'm like, okay, people can take things the wrong way, especially when it's in text message. He might have been referring to his injury and going, ugh, that's going to be hard, or crap, that I don't think I can do that. Not saying she's fat, saying he is weak and injured. There's a difference. There is a difference, a big difference. And this is where context of what they were talking about before and after means a lot. Like, neither of which she could change during filming. On the second day of filming, for example, Mr. Baldoni made the rest of the cast and crew wait for hours while he cried in Miss Lively's dressing room, claiming social media commentators were saying that Miss Lively looked old and unattractive based on paparazzi photos from the set. He was crying in her dressing room based on criticisms of her. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I care for a lot of people, but I am not crying based on what they are going through. Like, somebody criticizes them, I might be concerned, but I am not going to bawl for hours over somebody else's bullshit. Sorry. Yeah, her weight was probably around 180, but she wants people to think it's 130. Tall women can carry weight and look good. Yeah, those damn tall people. It's another short person problem, 160 looks different on 5'3" than it does on 5'6" than it does on 5'8". It just, who's the princess? Oh. No, well, sorry. While he cried in her dressing room, that just makes me laugh. Like, I just can't. There's no other way to do that. I just have to laugh. Miss Lively tried to reassure him that she should look authentic in the scenes depicted in the photos, which were just after her character had been abused by her fictional husband, rather than hot. Mr. Baldoni appeared focused on Miss Lively's appeal versus above all else. His lengthy outburst caused a delay in shooting, forcing an emotional scene to be shot haphazardly. Doubtful. To make matters worse, Miss Lively tried to have a meeting with Mr. Heath and other producers to discuss Mr. Baldoni's unprofessional behavior described above. That meeting turned into yet another violation. Rather than an ordinary meeting time and place, Mr. Heath arrived unannounced at Miss Lively's hair and makeup trailer while she was topless and having body makeup removed by makeup artists. Miss Lively told Mr. Heath that she was almost done and they could meet when she was clothed. Mr. Heath, however, insisted that if she did not allow him in her trailer to speak to him at that moment, there would be no meeting with other producers. Okay, if that truly happened, that's bullshit. Like, that's bullshit. We're just gonna, call it like we see it and give it the benefit of the doubt until we see other evidence. Good morning, Amos girl. How are you? How are you doing? Miss Lively reluctantly agreed, but asked that Mr. Heath keep his back turned. A few minutes into the conversation, Miss Lively noticed that Mr. Heath was staring directly at her while she was topless. When she called him out, Mr. Heath brushed it off as a habit of wanting to look at a person while speaking with them. I don't think it was appropriate if he did that, but at the same time, this I can completely understand. Miss Lively and her hair and makeup artist were all deeply disturbed by this interaction on just the second day of filming. Throughout filming, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath invaded Miss Lively's privacy by entering her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding her infant child. Miss Lively often had to work while breastfeeding, which she felt comfortable doing so as long as she was given the time and space to cover herself. She did this frequently because she was not given breaks to feed her baby. Footnote 20. But Miss Lively did not expect or consent to have anyone enter her private spaces while topless, exposed, and vulnerable with her newborn. I have a problem with this is to invoke emotion, because you just said up here infant, and then down here with her infant child, and then you down here is a newborn. If she's working, I can guarantee you that child is not a newborn. Yes, still breastfeeding, but not a newborn. So to use the word newborn is not only factually incorrect, but I believe also put in there maliciously to invoke an emotion in the judge. Or during body makeup application or removal, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath both showed a shocking lack of boundaries by invading her personal space when she was undressed and vulnerable. Defendants have claimed that these intrusions were Miss Lively's fault because she texted Mr. Baldoni on one occasion that she was just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. This misunderstands the difference between a woman pumping on her own terms and having taken the necessary steps to make herself comfortable, covering herself and ensuring the conditions are appropriate for the task. You can pump and be covered. Like, I'm pretty sure she can. So this doesn't misunderstand anything. If you say just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines, that to me means I'm appropriate, come to the trailer. Because you can have a hands, like I pumped in the car all the time. Like I had a 40-minute drive home. So like from the gym to home, I would pump because I had hands-free pumps. And I'm sure if I can afford them, so can she. Probably better ones than I had. So this is another it's not, this is misconstrued. Like when you text somebody, you imply certain things when you text somebody. And yes, text can be misconstrued all the time. People in chat say things, and the people who are streaming misconstrue what's happening, thinking there's a bigger issue than there really is. Like, it's just, I have problems with the way this is written, not the formatting of the way this is written, not the things, but the words and the content that's actually in it does not make sense to me as a breastfeeding mother. Like, I was lucky enough to be able to breastfeed baby Squid until she stopped wanting to. In fact, she is 2.5, and there are times when I'm still like, well, that's not supposed to happen, if you know what I mean. If you're a mom, you get it. If you know, you know. If you don't, then I'm not explaining. And Harry, thank you for the $5 super chat. Banana funds. Yes, on your way in, smash that like button. You can smash the dislike button too if you're not a fan of this topic, you're not a fan of me. I don't care. It helps the engagement. I would love your thumbs up, but at the same time, when you hit that down button, because I know there are people who hit the down button on every stream. They don't watch the stream. They just hit the down button because they don't like me. But thank you for the engagement, because even that helps me with the algorithm, because that is engagement. The best thing for you to do is just not hit anything at all. But y'all can't help yourselves. Just funny. I love people. People make me laugh. And walking in on someone without notice or permission while they are breastfeeding or otherwise in a state of partial undress. Their critical distinction is consent. Miss Lively's one-time invitation was neither free license to join her immediately in her trailer. When you say, I'm in my trailer pumping, let's work out our lines, that implies that, no, they didn't get rid of the dislike button. They got rid of how many people can see the dislike button. So like, you can't tell as a viewer how many dislikes something has, but there are mods and overlays or things that you can do to still see how many dislikes something has. Like a certain movie trailer had like 12,000 likes and like 193,000 dislikes. It was funny as hell. Here's an idea. If being topless makes you uncomfortable, then don't take a role that calls you to be topless. Many actresses have no nudity standards. That is true. But Roy, in the sense, not to defend Blake, but just to be a devil's advocate, because that's what I do. I'm a fence rider because I try to look at both sides of the thing. There is a difference between being topless as an actress and in a role, and being topless while like feeding your child, or like there's a distinct like personal, like one is not personal, one you've gotten used to, the other one is completely personal and you do feel vulnerable. However, I see your point. Like, yeah, now don't bring sense into this. Like, best part of Jeez. Oh boy. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta check on something real quick. It's just so funny that like it's just funny to me. Yeah, that right there. Like it's just it's just funny. Like there are just certain things that I'm like, I just have to laugh at you because that's just hilarious to me. Miss Lively's one-time invitation was neither free license to join her immediately in her trailer, nor was it a general invitation to freely walk into her trailer at any time uninvited. And it certainly was not a license to enter Miss Lively's trailer when she refused consent. That I can agree with. The fact that Mr. Baldoni, who has repeatedly preached the importance of consent while giving media interviews or in public speaking events, now claims otherwise with respect to his own behavior, displays breathtaking hypocrisy. No matter who it is, if it's like Joe Schmo next door neighbor, or you're the biggest Hollywood star, or YouTube people, or the people at the grocery store, this is a big problem for me. Don't say one thing and then act completely different when you're behind closed doors. It's just don't, like, I'm that's why I try to be as authentic. This is my real self. You get my attitude. You get when I'm in a good mood. You get when I'm in a bad mood. I don't fake shit. I'm really not good at faking stuff. Ask Mr. Swin. However, it's just it. I just don't like people who act. And that's my problem with a lot of Hollywood. It's rules for the not for me. Hollywood, Washington, Mr. Baldoni also routinely degraded Miss Lively by finding back-channel ways of criticizing her body and weight. A few weeks before filming began, and less than 4 months after Miss Lively had given birth to her 4th child. So look at here, that's newborn, 4 months. On set, that child was at least 4 months old. At least 4 months old. That is not a newborn. I can tell you, that is not a newborn. There's a big difference. I don't know, sitting up and, possibly starting to eat purees and not just breastfeeding. There's a big thing. There's a big thing, 4 months versus a newborn. But that's a detail that they conveniently like to leave out. Miss Lively was humiliated to learn that Mr. Baldoni secretly called her fitness trainer without her knowledge or permission and implied that he wanted her to lose weight in 2 weeks. I doubt that. Mr. Baldoni told the trainer that he had asked because he was concerned about having to pick up Miss Lively in a scene for the movie, but there was no such scene. I'm sure there was. To those of you who have seen the movie, Dad, did he ever have to pick her up in the final cut of the movie? And that's another thing. There were more than one final cut of the movie. One was made by, I don't know, the actual crew, and one was made by her people. So, yeah, and that's the thing too. But money is a powerful, money and fame are a powerful a vice. And if you're offered money for something, there's certain things like the hater channels. I refuse to sit and talk about them, especially by name, because 1, I'm just not that kind of person. And 2, I'm not going to give them content to talk about. I'm not going to give anyone who doesn't like me content by spewing my personal opinions. Do I have opinions? Of course. Am I going to make them public? No. Definitely not. So it's just, there's certain things that I'm I don't know. There's just certain things where I'm what you'll do, the things people do when money is involved are, do I like money? Yes. But if someone dangles a carrot in front of my face, am I going to run after it just for the sake of an extra couple bucks? Fuck no. Fuck no. So it's just one of those the hypocrisy and the misrepresentation of a lot of this stuff is annoying to me because I see it every day. I see it in lawsuits. I see it in real life. I see it on social media, and it's the hypocrisy of some people is just funny to me. But what people will do for money. I've ran gladiator assault challenges and those stupid obstacle course races because at the end I was going to get free beer. The things you will do for free beer. 4 months after birth is too soon to take this kind of a role. Yeah, I think so too. But the reason this kind of a role specifically, because this is a very emotional movie dealing with a difficult subject. So when you are 4 months after birth, your hormones have not settled. And I don't want to blame everything on a woman's hormones, but I can tell you crying over spilt milk in a Doritos commercial, the 2 specific incidents that I can remember. I cried over a Doritos commercial. Don't know why. Don't remember why. I just remember looking at a Doritos commercial and crying. So to take a role that is this emotionally charged, while your hormones are not while you are not your normal everyday self, is I don't think is a good idea. Like, I wouldn't personally do it. Yeah, jackass movies come to mind, doing stupid shit for money. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, the TV show, back in the day, the TV show that Joe Rogan started on, Fear Factor, stupid shit for money. Like, hey, Unknown Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat, Baldoni. Oh, yeah. we're just gonna leave that one right there. Yeah. In later text messages sent to his team, Mr. Baldoni referred to Miss Lively's trainer as a damn spy and sought to plant stories to portray his concerns as being motivated by his lower back pain. I'm sorry, if I had lower back pain and I had to pick somebody up, I'd be concerned about that shit too. I have elbow pain. I have bilateral elbow pain from picking up the little repeatedly over and over and over again. I get worried about having to pick her up. I see how much she weighs to see how much work I need to do to not be in pain every day. Like, it's nothing against her growing. It's I need to take care of myself. It's just this thing. God. But apparently, remember, taking care of yourself before you take care of others is a negative thing in our society. Miss Lively was not alone in her view that Mr. Baldoni's discussion with her trainer was uncomfortable and inappropriate. In fact, on January 29th, 2025, following Mr. Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Miss Lively and others, so this, remember, this is the amended complaint that was filed on February 18th. The initial complaint was filed on January 25th. I didn't feel like reading that one just to read the amended complaint. So I figured we would just start at the amended complaint. But FYI, this was filed 2/18. The original lawsuit was, I believe, filed either the middle of January or January 25th. So when you see dates in this and you were like, the timeline doesn't add up of when she filed her lawsuit, this complaint is the amended one. Miss Lively's trainer edited the caption of an Instagram post he had originally posted on July 25th of 2024 of himself and Miss Lively and his wife to share his views on the issue publicly. He wrote that since he had originally posted the picture, there have been negative comments on this post, negative comments sent to my wife, and believe it or not, negative comments sent to my children. Never go after anybody's spouse or children of a public figure. Like his children did not ask to be public figures. Like, yeah. Oh, I've seen that movie before. It's been, 20 years since I've seen that movie at least. But I remember that movie. Hey, Taz. How are you? He explained that Justin Baldoni is not my client. I created a complimentary program for him as a favor to a client. He noted that he had helped to find him a coach, and after an uncomfortable conversation, communication ended. When Miss Lively caught strep throat, Mr. Baldoni offered as a gift to connect with her and an expert he had on retainer to help her with probiotics and to combat the sickness. When Miss Lively went to fill out the privacy forms, she saw that the expert was not what Mr. Baldoni had represented to her. He was instead a weight loss specialist. Miss Lively felt once again that Mr. Baldoni was shaming her for her body and weight. Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath also failed to implement COVID. Oh, here we go. When there was a COVID outbreak on set. It is 2024 or 2023 at this time. Like, guys, like, it's not YouTube, don't eat me, but my opinion, it is not a matter of if you will get sick. It is a matter of when. Because it's like a cold that has a little bit more respiratory issues. So it's not a cold, but it is like a cold or the flu. It is not a matter of if you are going to get it. It's just when are you going to get sick? That is you can't prevent yourself from ever getting sick. Like, let's put it this way. Like, you can't, you just... Miss Lively was told by another producer that because Wayfair did not have insurance coverage for the coof, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath deliberately withheld from Miss Lively that she had been exposed to it. Both Miss Lively and her infant child contracted COVID from the outbreak. And guess what? Baby Squid got COVID at 6 months. Baby Squid, my little one that you see running around here all healthy, got COVID at 6 months. She was fine. We all got it. Valentine's Day of 2022 or 2023. We all got it. We all got it. Mr. Squid brought it home from work, proceeded to give it to her, and she gave it to me, and I gave it to my mother. We all got it. And guess what? We all survived, even an infant. Miss Lively and others lodged grievances regarding the conduct of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, which Wayfarer declines to investigate. As the studio producing the film, Wayfarer was the employer of all the cast and crew and was thus responsible for ensuring workplace safety on the set. Sorry, I'm laughing. I can see, like, out this bedroom door, I can see a closet door, and the little's room is directly across from that closet door. I can see the light going on, off, because she can reach the light switch. So she's like, she'll just, fascinating to her. Seriously, I wonder how much her hormones being off because of her recent pregnancy caused her to feel more offended than she normally would. I know my son's mother got offended by a comment I made. Yeah, like, I don't want to blame everything on hormones. Like, I am not the kind of person to go, like, doctors sometimes will be like, oh, your headaches, it's your hormones. Oh, you're having this, it's your hormones. No, sometimes it's not your hormones. However, 4 months after giving birth, while you're still breastfeeding, and certain hormones have to stay at a certain level in order for your body to produce breast milk. That's biology. God forbid we take a biology class and we actually trust the science. It's when you are 4 months postpartum, you are hormonal, whether you care to admit it or not, especially if you are breastfeeding. Like, okay, not to get scientific here, but there's a reason breastfeeding women do not get their time of the month back immediately. It takes sometimes, as long as you're breastfeeding, you will not get those certain, Mother Nature visits. That is because that is because of hormones. Your hormones are different than, like, my hormones at her being 2.5 are way different than her being 4 months old. You gotta admit when your hormones might be causing a problem of the way you interpret people's actions. I'm just saying. How do you make a Hung Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat. We're just going to yeah. Oh, I agree with that too. However, just like you said, it's biological. Yeah, and it is. Like, sorry, as a woman, like, I'm sorry, y'all, like, sometimes hormones do get you and do get the best of you. And to not admit that there is a hormonal difference between men and women, the types of hormones, what those hormones accomplish, just to admit that we have different body parts that produce different hormones. To not acknowledge that fact is just wrong. It's just wrong. Like, whatever you shut the front door, it can be hormonal. Yeah. 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 Like, 4 months after birth, Ryan might have already planted number 5. He didn't, because they, as far as I know, they don't have a 5th. So, which they would have if that were true. But yeah, you're kind of right. Like, this is why I love my chat. Shut the front door. As a studio producing the film, Wayfarer was the employer of all the cast and crew and thus was responsible for ensuring workplace safety on set. However, Wayfair failed to provide Ms. Lively with an even rudimentary employment protection, such as an employee handbook, harassment policy, information on any training on SA, discrimination, or respectful workplace expectations. Do movie sets do that? Speaking of this, I always joke that I'm going to open a restaurant called I Don't Care, or I Don't Know. What do you want for dinner? I don't care. I'm going to open a restaurant called I Don't Care. That has a little bit of every cuisine to make everybody happy. Not really. Me and restaurant operations would not be good together. Yeah. Wayfair also failed to provide Miss Lively with information about the process and procedure for filing an HR complaint. As the producer and owner of the film, Wayfair was legally obligated to address HR-related concerns or complaints. To Miss Lively's knowledge, however, Wayfair lacked any process for responding to complaints about its leadership, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, who plainly were not going to investigate themselves. If you know, you know. I'm back. Just got into it with a lady that got her package delivered here. She came knocking like she's the police, got mad at me for tampering with my package. Like I've still been getting a little bit of mail from the former owner, and I just text my real estate lady and be like, hey, I got their stuff. They can pick it up whenever. Like, you just because your package, it's not your fault that her package got delivered to a different address. It sounds like either a her problem or a UPS, FedEx, post office problem. But like, just because I put your package inside my house so that it doesn't, I don't know, get wet or get stolen, does not mean I'm tampering with it. The studio I work with doesn't have handbooks. I was like, yeah, we don't want her package. It's like, I'm sorry, but you have to think when your package gets delivered at somebody else's address, it's not only an inconvenience to you, it's an inconvenience to them too. Like, especially if they are, I have to admit, I've accidentally opened up like Mr. Squid's packages. Like, I don't open up his packages when he orders stuff. I let him do that. But like, I've accidentally opened up his when I've expected something to be delivered of my own. And like, I just go, oh, it's probably mine. And then you open it up and you're like, this is not what I was ordering. Oh, wait, this package isn't for me. Like, she might want your package flash. Oh my God. Y'all are crazy. Yes? What you got there? Can I see? You're watching me? Can I see? She's going, oh mama, oh mama. She's got, so if you see any weird comments, I promise they're not from me. So she's got this stream open up on her phone, on my phone. Because she runs around not only playing music, but yeah. Wayfair, Mr. Baldoni, and Mr. Heath received or were aware of a number of HR grievances regarding their conduct. They admitted as much from day one. For example, on the first day of filming, while attempting to hug Miss Lively's employee, Mr. Heath said, I don't know if we're even allowed to do this. It's day one and we will have an HR report already. I'm pretty sure he was joking. Because you have to take into account when someone's joking. And some people joke about this. Like, I joke, like, I say in jest that I'm not a part of the cool kids club. Like, I joke, like, I don't care. Like, I made a comment recently that it was like, and hold on, I have to turn the phone down before she gets me YMCA'd off YouTube. sorry. We were watching the President Trump's inauguration concert thing where where the Village People were singing YMCA, and she was dancing, and I recorded it, and now it's 30-second video that she's just on replay. I don't want to get yeah. She destroyed her career with this. Yeah, I don't disagree. But with this joking, like I made a comment the other day. I think I posted it somewhere. I'm not even sure where I posted it. I'm not in the cool kids club. The only person who contacts me on a regular basis is Bruce. For those of you who don't understand sarcasm, I didn't say that was wanted contact from Bruce. I'm just saying, out of everybody on YouTube, he is the one that contacts me the most frequently. I didn't say it was wanted contact, but like it was a joke. I'm not part of the cool kids club. The only person that I really talk to, because I isolate myself because I don't want to be involved in anybody's drama. So I isolate myself and don't talk to anybody. I eliminate people who get dramatic over stuff that doesn't involve me. When they involve me, I'm like, I just can't. Like, I just gotta go. Like, I just yell sorry. But I joked and said, the only person who contacts me or talks to me lately is Bruce. It's like, I didn't say it was wanted contact. I've gotten the emails that I sent to Tug, and then he's emailed me twice since then, which y'all know I haven't read them word for word, but I was literally on stream when I got them and I told y'all. But it's like, yeah, we chat, but not every day. And also, Taz, I love you. And this is not meant to be personal, but when I meant that, I was like streamers. Streamers. I don't talk to many streamers on a daily basis. I talk to a bunch of people on a daily basis, but not YouTubers. So like, that's why nobody sends me documents, because I don't talk to anybody. Because I don't care. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. That's why I joked that I wasn't part of the cool kids club, the people who get sent documents. But like, people don't understand humor. So sometimes this right here, I can guarantee you was a joke. Like, just reading this and knowing that like I have that kind of weird sense of humor that apparently not everybody gets. Like, well, we don't. Okay, Captain Curtin, for when I met you, you had 70 subscribers on YouTube. You were a Twitch streamer. Now you have 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So like, yes, but you're also my friend. Like, friend first, YouTuber second. So like, I talk to you, but I talk to you like anybody who has my personal phone number, I believe is a friend, not necessarily a YouTuber. So yeah. So you don't count as a YouTuber in my eyes because you are my friend. Like, I'm just talking about acquaintances on YouTube, people that I only communicate with through Twitter or Discord or things like that. Like, if you have my personal phone number, you are my friend. Like, so, and there's not many people that have my personal phone number. So personal phone number people aren't YouTubers. They're my friends. So sorry if that offends you. Yeah. I think you'd be good at it. You've been on stream a couple of times and you've been fine. No, you don't count as a YouTuber because you are my friend. Get over it. I consider you a friend. Suck it up, Buttercup, and deal with it. And that right there is why we're friends, because you understand that I'm joking. And that's why we're friends. Contemporaneous messages with witnesses prove that Miss Lively's concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath and others' concerns began early in the pre-production and production process, long before the editorial process began. Because of the lack of protocols, Miss Lively initially struggled to find a way to navigate the increasingly troubled behavior to which she was subjected on set. On or about May 23rd of 2023, during a particularly difficult day on set, she and a female cast member talked to each other about how uncomfortable they both were feeling. Okay. Here, they both were feeling. Okay, I'm curious. I would be curious to know, in the moment. See, I have questions when I read this stuff. And this is the why are you uncomfortable? Are you uncomfortable because of Mr. Baldoni and the production, the cast and the crew's actions on set? Or are you uncomfortable because this subject of this movie is very difficult, and there's a lot of intimate scenes? And sometimes, I mean, I know that I'm uncomfortable reading some of this stuff. Like, I can't imagine having to act some of these scenes out. That's why I'm not an actress. One, because I suck at it. And two, like, oh, thank you, Handful. I love watching your channel. This is real talk. Yeah, this is just me. Like, this is my personality. Like, you know when I'm uncomfortable because I will skip words and I'll be like, you can read it for yourself. I'm not cherry picking what I'm reading. I just like the fact that my channel is monetized, and I would really like to keep it that way. Because I like getting ad revenue, because then I don't feel like I need to ask people for super chats, because ad revenue is not a lot of money, but like people can still watch for free and I still feel supported. But like sometimes you will know when I'm like, now I feel like I'm reading a softcore romance novel, which kind of is what the book. The movie is based on a book. So there's a lot of stuff in the book that is uncomfortable to read. Oh, side note, sidebar, and I'm sorry for those of you who get mad at me for that. I apologize. I got these from Amazon in the mail last night. I have now figured out what I am getting to every female friend in my life. These were $30 from Amazon. The best slippers I have ever gotten in my life. I almost do not want to take them off. They are memory foam. They are great for walking around on hardwood floors. They're great. I'm sorry. I just had to, I kicked them off, or they fell off. And I'm like, I feel like you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. I try, and like, love me or hate me. I'm just me, and you're going to get my opinion. Like, you're going to get my opinion and my honest opinion. And a lot of the times I don't have most of the time, I don't have the time to read a 146-page document before I read it with y'all. So you are getting my true and honest opinion. I'm not commenting on up here knowing what's 3 pages later. Like, you're getting my honest reactions if I were reading this and I'm like, oh shit, when I talk out loud. A lot of the times I'm just talking out loud. And Taz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Like this, love and hugs. I appreciate you. And hey, Heidi. This stream brought to you by the little blue pill, because reading softcore might not work for you. Oh boy, I love this chat. Y'all make me laugh. So I would be curious, getting back to the actual content, since we lost like 10 viewers with my side chat, how, if they were feeling uncomfortable due to the actions of the owners of Wayfarer, Justin Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and, or they were feeling uncomfortable because of the content of what they were filming, because I know that would make me quite uncomfortable. That same cast member later reached out to Miss Lively by text to express appreciation and relief to be able to commiserate about their shared experiences. Miss Lively, upset with the inappropriate working conditions to which they both were being subjected, thanked her for her support in speaking up, writing, "Thank you for taking the time to say this. Also for taking the time at your lunch. I felt untethered today and you grounded me. I'm sorry for what you've experienced and I wish..." Okay, I'm sorry. This seems like a script. This doesn't seem like genuine language that someone would say without. This is what you write when you fully expect it to be public. Like, oh, hello. These are the things you write and the way you phrase messages when you fully expect that your message is going to be put, I don't know, in a legal document. Just thought, because this is how I phrased things when I emailed, or when Bruce emailed me and I responded. I have never reached out to him. I've just responded to him. Oh boy. All right. Thank you for taking the time to say this, and also taking the time at your lunch. I felt untethered today, and you grounded me. I'm sorry for what you've experienced and what I wish I would have been there to witness for you. And not that you need me to, but I sure would have loved to have run my mouth about it. Thank you for not only witnessing me, but coming forth with such eloquent and safe backup. You were bold without being inflammatory, which is such a tightrope. I really appreciate it. She's watching videos. There was a video where she was going for a golf cart ride, and I wanted to film her reaction to Daddy saying, "Let's go for a golf cart ride." Then I asked her for give me a hug and a kiss, and she came up and she wanted a hug and a kiss. I'm like, this is how she has an attitude, and she's a sassy butt, but she is the cutest damn kid I've ever seen in my life. I'm a little biased, but that's okay. On May 24th of 2024, both Miss Lively and the female cast member discussed how they were both feeling uneasy on set that day. Miss Lively confided that she felt like she needs to say something tonight after wrap, but that she's not sure how to navigate it, to which her cast member responded by offering words of support. That same day, on May 24th, 2023, wait, does anybody notice something that's off? May 24th, 2024, May 24th, 2023. If you can't get your timeline right, if you can't get your timeline right, so say the judge has to read this, 20 pages at a time, because he's like, I can't deal with this shit. Would you be a little confused? And that's how you convolute a timeline. When you make things appear like they're happening at the same time, you mess up the dates. That's what Bruce did in the if I'm remembering this correctly, and I apologize to Bruce if I'm not remembering this correctly, but he put 2021 and it was 2020, or something such as that, or he put all the way back to 2020 and it was 2021. So he's convoluting a timeline by adding an extra year. This is how you convolute a timeline. 2 paragraphs back to back, 116 and 117. You put different dates. Really. So he goes May 23rd, 2023, May 24th, 2024, May 23rd, 2023, or May 24th, 2023. When you are writing a document, especially a fucking 146-page document, make sure you have accurate dates, because this would frustrate the hell out of me as a judge. I'm sorry. If I were reading this as a judge, I would be frustrated as shit when you can't even get a date right. It's and it's kind of one of those, if you can't even get a date accurate, you can't even take the time to make sure you got the dates accurate. What else did you not put it? Yeah. Proofreading is a lost art. But also, I have my high school English teacher, Mr. Ballestri. He is a little Italian guy, feisty as hell. He was super nice, but the minute you crossed him, God forbid, and when you couldn't get something right, like a date, when you are writing an essay or a paper, that makes me wonder, if you can't get something as simple as a date right, what else did you F up? Miss Lively confided in another woman who was a mutual friend of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. I was going to invite you to set tomorrow. These people, whoa. Miss Lively continued in response to a message from the woman by stating, it's like HR nuts today. The both of them. I wasn't expecting that turn. I mean, it's been present, but today I came home and cried. Further in the exchange, Miss Lively describes Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath as creeps, keep your hormones to yourself. Sorry, Blake, but you need to keep your hormones to yourself. This is not mine. I don't want it. This is I don't want you gaze or your gaze or words or tongue or videos of your naked wife. It's shocking, clowns. Meanwhile, Miss Lively and a female cast member discussed a plan to speak with Angie Giannetti, the Sony executive assigned to the production. On May 26th of 2023, that cast member reached out to Miss Lively to ask if she had talked to Miss Giannetti and informed Miss Lively that her manager knows Miss Giannetti and would be willing to offer support. Miss Lively responded that she had spoken with Miss Giannetti for 45 minutes. When Miss Lively reached out to Miss Giannetti, who was supportive, Miss Giannetti texted Miss Lively that what I did want to discuss feels very, very small in light of today's news. I'm so sorry. Calling you in moments. Ugh. In that conversation with Miss Giannetti on May 26th of 2023, Miss Lively told her that she wanted to file an HR complaint about both Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's misconduct. Although she was sympathetic, Miss Giannetti told Miss Lively that Sony, as the distributor of the film, was not empowered to oversee physical production, which included Baldoni and Heath's behavior on set, and that such concerns must be raised with Wayfair, the studio responsible for the production. Sorry, but, I get it, but, Oh, thank you. My drawers are yet again being. Oops. Miss Lively was concerned with that response because of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath were the chairman and CEO of Wayfair, and Mr. Baldoni was the director of the film. Miss Lively did not believe that either Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath would investigate their own alleged misconduct, and that disbelief was proven by subsequent events. In the meantime, following through on her prior text, the female cast member who had her managers contact Miss Giannetti to discuss that cast member's own discomfort with behavior by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath and its negative impact on the work. The remainder of the text exchange shows how both women shared concerns about speaking up and the potential consequences of doing so. Miss Lively shared that she needed to tread carefully to salvage some degree of chemistry and camaraderie with Justin, who's not only my director, but love interest, and we're not even a third of the way done with filming. The two women then recounted their discomfort with the experiences with Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, including one incident in which Mr. Baldoni secretly recorded them, and another in which he made an unwelcome remark about the female cast member's wardrobe. Miss Lively noted that Mr. Baldoni once asked her if he crossed the line, and when she said yes, he made a joke that he must have missed the I'm sorry, baby. Right there. Miss Lively and the female cast member discussed various examples of their uncomfortable and inappropriate interactions with Mr. Baldoni, and on May 28th, 2023, Miss Lively explained that her concerns were not just with Mr. Baldoni's behavior. He keeps referencing it, or disconnects entirely, or gets snippy and impatient as a director. He was so huffy after the sexy thing, I felt awful for saying something. And I doubt with her personality that I've seen from the past that she felt bad saying anything. That's what she's good at, opening her mouth. That same day, Miss Lively continued by observing that both she and the female cast member are not people who can't take a joke or who can't work with or understand blue. We're not that fragile. Referencing Mr. Baldoni, she said, "You can't just record people without asking. You can't speak to people while not in character or while talking about a character. And if you overstep, you move on. It's the weirdness after it that makes it feel bad. Like if we speak up, the vibes on the set get so funky and the work suffers." On May 29th of 2023, the same female cast member texted Miss Lively to recount a conversation with one of the film's producers about a cast member's own concerns with Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's conduct, and that the producer agreed that the situation needed to change. Later that day, the same producer also reached out to Miss Lively to say that she had spoken to Miss Giannetti and confirming her conversation with the female cast member about what had been occurring on set. Miss Lively thanked her for reaching out and replied that they would catch up later that week. The next day, June 1st, 2023, that producer reached out to Miss Lively again to praise her. Miss Lively responded with gratitude and thanked No. Oh, baby, you're fine. Oh. Miss Lively responded with gratitude and thanked the producer for taking the space to step up where we needed it. But, yeah, she got lungs. No, Giannetti. Giannetti is a woman that worked for Sony. Angel Bug, please stop doing that. Oh, she started a bunch of timers. So let me stop these things just in case just so that my phone doesn't start going off. There we go. The producer in turn thanked Miss Lively because she helped make the space for them to finally start listening to me. So thank you. After unsuccessfully attempting to raise concerns with Sony, Miss Lively expressly told Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath that there were serious HR problems on set. No. Girl, no. I have to stop her from pulling my printer off the counter or the table, so bear with me for a second. Thank you for your I had like, yeah, broken printer, not good, since it's a printer, copier, fax machine all in one, and I would like it to not get broken. No. Go get your pad. No. Then stop touching this, please. Yes, we still get faxes. Who has a printer in 2025? People who need physical paper to get shit done. Baby Squid makes me miss when my kids were little. I love her dearly, but I cannot have her not only breaking the printer, but dropping it on herself and injuring herself. She has not figured out that that there are consequences to actions that could physically hurt our own selves. So Like yesterday, we had an F around and find out moment. I have glass nail files. Well, she climbed up on the shelf to get them. Walked around the house with one that I used to exfoliate the feet. Dropped it. It's broken too, but a piece came off and she stepped on it. It was like, she's fine. Her foot is just a tiny, tiny little cut. But like, this is why we don't throw things, especially breakable things. Baby Squid is like, I gave birth to Evil Knievel. She takes her bike. She likes to take her bike on the slide. So she'll lift her little bike up on her little plastic slide, try to climb up and sit on her bike and go down the slide. I have an X Games kid at 2. Like, she's an adrenaline junkie, to say the least, which gives me heart attacks. And I'm having a very difficult time right now with the fine line of letting her figure out that things hurt. Like when we throw a temper tantrum, when we throw our head backward, that it's going to hurt on, hardwood floors. But then it hurts my mama heart knowing that she's going to get hurt doing something. And I can't daughter like mother, man, maybe. Yeah, she's not always adorable. Like, I love her. She is a cutie pie, but she is not always this sweet and cute and daredevilish. She is like, she tests the patience some days. No. Okay, then don't. I give you my phone and you say no. Okay, I give her my phone and you say no. And now she's like hitting my phone because she's mad at my phone. The things you do. I don't know. I don't know. After unsuccessfully attempting to raise concerns with Sony, Miss Lively expressly told Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath that there were serious HR problems on set. Mr. Heath responded that they knew, implying that someone had mentioned it to them that Miss Lively had raised concerns. In response, Mr. Heath told Miss Lively that he thought that she had wanted to see the nude video of his wife. And I'm just going to not refer to them as Mr. and Miss anymore because we all know who people are. We're just going to refer to them by their last names. On June 1st, see, they did it again. This was 2023. They did it again. June 1st, 2023. June 1st, 2024. They did it again. They did it again. They messed up the timeline yet again. What? No. Go bring it here. Bring it here. No. Then if you're not going to bring it here, I'm not going to unlock it. Yeah, but I get that, and that's where I'm struggling with like my my brain going, yes, she needs to figure out stuff on her own as long as she's not going to get so injured where, we need a doctor visit kind of injured. Like a little bruise bump here and there, like she runs into something and bruises her knee. Like, it's going to happen. It's just my mama heart. My mama heart. Ow. She's beating me up right now. You see this, right? This is... Ow. That's my leg. Come here. No. Here. You want the Aflac duck? No. You want the duck? No. I have an Aflac duck. I was an agent for a while, so I have a bunch of Aflac stuff. Here you go. No. Okay, nothing's making... She's laying in the middle of the floor going, no, nothing's making her happy right now. My mom grew up in the 60s. They were really strict back then. My mom grew up in the 60s as well with a bunch of siblings that were older than her. So, yeah, it's but here, they messed up the timeline again. getting the year right when you are trying to establish a timeline in a complaint, to me, not being a lawyer, but to me, that is one of the most important things, is to get the timeline right. Even though it's a year, your month and your day is correct, getting the year going back and forth between 2023 and 2024. Like, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, let alone what happened in 2023 or 2024. So, like, you have to all this fuss and a lawsuit of, yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. But it'll be interesting to actually see what his complaint says. I just don't understand why this needs to be 141 pages. Like, with exhibits, it's 163. On June 1st, 2023, the female cast member told Miss Lively that Mr. Baldoni has expressly acknowledged her concerns in writing, stating, "I've recognized that the last few days of filming have been difficult, but I wanted you to know that I'm going to go get her toothbrush, because I think that's what she's crying about right now, is she wants to brush her teeth. My daughter likes to brush her teeth. I am not going to complain." Toddler life. We are screaming over nothing. Over nothing. She is in the bathroom trying to close the door, and she can't close the door because her step stool's in the way. So she's just mad for the sake of being mad right now. So I apologize for the background noise. There's nothing I can do to stop her from crying right now. She just has to figure it out on her own. I noticed that when we were growing up and we did things wrong, we would get whipped. But then when we have grandkids, the same parents won't whip the grandbabies and let them get away with everything. Come here. No. Then I can't help you. You're literally just screaming for the sake of screaming. Flash fan, you're always hungry. Yeah, I got the belt or an open hand. I got bitch slapped. You want this? No. If you're gonna take it just to throw it. We like to throw things. We like to throw things right now. When we get mad, we throw. And when I stop her from throwing it, so she just has to work this one out on her own. I love her, but I can't. Both mom and Mama Squid and Papa Squid were both strict. And I'm sorry if you can hear her in the background. I really apologize. It's just one of those situations where she gets close enough. Angel, I can't help you then. Like, I can't help you if you won't come here. Because there's no pleasing her right now. There's no pleasing her. I recognize the last few days of filming have been difficult, but I wanted you to know that the work is really great and I'm excited for what we're creating. Equally important is this was I was made aware of your concerns. I wanted you to know that they're fully received. I hear you. And adjustments will be made accordingly. Come here. This one I literally can't hold on one second. She works herself up into a frenzy and there's no getting her out of it. My mom was quick trauma growl with a shoe. I'm pretty sure. We are in a tizzy. Are we in a tizzy? Are we in a tizzy? Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey. 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 Oh boy. Yeah, my mom was famous with that. You're no. Hey, can we read? Let's read. Yeah, my mom was this was my mom's favorite line, or I'm not paying to air condition the whole neighborhood, so close the damn door. What a doll face. Are you a cutie pie? No. You're not a cutie pie? Okay. Well, sorry I called you a cutie pie. The cast member conveyed to Miss Lively, since we're taking 10 minutes to read one paragraph, that she did not feel the acknowledgement was satisfactory. Miss Lively agreed. On June 8th of 2023, a female cast member confided in Miss Lively that she had difficulty having conversations with Mr. Baldoni. Miss Lively responded that she too found it really hard to speak with him. I try to cover it busyness, but not sure how that covers what's going on. I think this is supposed to be business, but not sure that covers what's going on. I think we're fine. We just have some stories to tell, and who knows if it wasn't a shit who we wouldn't have found each other in such an anchoring way. I noted they were survivors with shared trauma. Sounds like a liberal Hollywood, and woohoo! Imagine a woman who is hard to satisfy. Imagine my shock. Yeah. It's one of those situations. It just I have nothing against liberals in general. I've talked to a few. There's a few in this chat. But sometimes things just get very very whiny. Very victim mentality. Very, very victim mentality. Mr. Baldoni's response in hearing the grievances of Miss Lively and other female cast members. Oh, and another female cast member. God, it seems like as it gets going, there's more. And this would never be caught on Grammarly or anything like that, because case is a word, so it's not going to be spell checked. So this is where reading comprehension and proofreading comes into play. Was dismissive. On June 8th, the female cast member who raised concerns about Mr. Baldoni's behavior told Miss Lively that Mr. Baldoni had heard complaining to another actor and that, dude, I have to tell you something, but I don't want to get canceled or lose my job. You can't say anything on this set anymore. Oh yeah, it was the shoe or the flip-flop in the back seat. Don't make me come back there. As described above, Miss Lively and others attempted to raise concerns to Baldoni and Heath regarding certain of the conduct describing during filming. Okay, if that phrase makes any sense to anybody, in the way it's put, and I'm just not reading it correctly, let me know. Because regarding certain conduct described during filming, this does not need to be there. But it was futile to ask Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath to address their own behavior, and their concerns were not addressed. Despite receiving multiple detailed reports by Lively and others about Baldoni and Heath's misconduct, Wayfair failed to investigate those reports or institute protections for the cast. This is so, even though this is, even though the incidents discussed above, among others, did not take place in isolation, and many, if not all, were witnessed by others. When I start paying attention to the grammar, the words used, the years being wrong, I lose focus on what the lawsuit is actually about, because I focus on, I'm the grammar Yahtzee. Yeah, this is always a favorite too. It's one of those things of when I start paying attention to the sentence structure and it becomes a difficult read, I stop putting my attention on the actual details of what your lawsuit is about and start focusing on the fact that I hate you as a lawyer. Maybe that's just me, but when I read a lawsuit and it becomes focused on the grammar, I lose focus on what you're actually trying to convey in your lawsuit. And yeah, like, it's so weird. Wayfair failed to investigate those reports or institute protections for the cast. This is so even though the incidents discussed above, among others, did not take place in isolation, and many, if not all, were witnessed by others. In their January 31st, 2025 amended complaint, defendants admit that Ms. Lively raised concerns with Mr. Baldoni and Heath as early as May of 2023. Their narrative about this complaint is telling. According to defendants, Baldoni was immediately suspicious of Lively's concerns, and although defendants cannot point to a shred of contemporaneous evidence backing this up, defendants now insist that they were informed by Sony that any complaints were not sexual in nature, and that Baldoni sensed that Lively was intentionally manipulating the facts. Baldoni admits that the way he addressed this was to create acknowledgement, note for someone else to pass on to Lively, which Lively found entirely unsatisfactory. Defendants concede that Miss Lively requested a meeting the next day, June 1st, yet instead of following Baldoni's own advice to be confident enough to listen to the women in your life, to hear their ideas and their solutions, and to actually believe them, even what they're saying is against you. And they forgot a word here, which might be actually important to their point of against you. But here's my problem with that. Actually believe them. I believe evidence. I don't believe people. Defendants mock Lively by saying she raised a series of grievances that she appeared to have spent the past 5 days overanalyzing and scrutinized every minor infraction and perceived slight. In sum, defendants have conceded that Lively raised concerns about their behavior both to Sony and them directly, but their response is to retroactively rebrand those concerns as non-sexual and criticize Lively for overanalyzing perceived slights. As someone who overthinks damn near everything in my real life, overanalyzing is a huge problem because you tend to blow shit out of proportion when you overanalyze it instead of just letting it be as it is. When you start thinking about every little thing that happened and like why someone did this and why someone did this, and it blows things way and makes it way more personal and offensive than it really is. Because guarantee you the other person doesn't give two shits about the situation that you're overanalyzing. The only person stressing about what happened is you, because you're sitting there and thinking about it 24/7, which the other person probably doesn't even remember what happened. Poor grammar is an annoying thing that affects my day. That was a very, very well. Whoa, okay, bye. Bye. Okay. Bye. She's still sitting right here. Clearly, they've been rushed to out these documents together and working with a nightmare client, but this is high school quality writing, proofreading, if even that. Yeah, it's just like yeah, and like when I start, like I just have that I graduated high school in the early 2000s, so like I specifically remember my English teacher and how when he paid attention to poor grammar, he stopped paying attention to the content and you got a worse grade. And like it's ingrained in me because I had him my junior year and I also had him for 2 classes back to back. I had him for British literature and English lit, or world lit and British lit back to back the last 2 hours or 2 classes of my day, my second semester of my senior year. So I literally ended my high school career with having to sit in this man's class for over an hour and a half. I literally moved from 1 seat and 1 seat back in 2 hours. So yeah, I'm a proud member of the grammar police. Yeah, it's just like something simple when you can't, and I'm not perfect with my grammar, but like when you make a run-on sentence or you spell something wrong or you use like here and here wrong or there and there, or you put trail instead of trial, I stop paying attention to what the content is and start scrutinizing the person who wrote it. And if I start scrutinizing the person who wrote it, my content isn't going to, yeah, I've used that phrase recently and I'm like, you're old when you used like back in the day. I'm like, or when I was a kid, just, and it's like 40 is not that old. And like, I'm not even 40 yet, but yeah. By these and other behaviors, Baldoni, Heath, and Wayfair engaged in harassing conduct and failed in their obligations to investigate complaints. I will make it better for you. Blake's lawyer, call me. We'll figure out your grammar police that will make your content a little easier to follow, and I might give 2 shits more or a shit more about what you like. See, and there's a difference between Heidi. There is a difference between like writing it in a chat where autocorrect gets you all the time because you're trying to keep up with the content creator or the conversation going on in chat, and a legal document or a Facebook or Instagram or YouTube comment where you can edit it and you've taken the time to, think about what you're going to write. There's big differences between all of those. When you have the time to sit back, think, proofread something like a legal document, it's different than a chat. But Hung Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah, there's a big difference between someone who has a law degree signing off on a document and a random chat person. Not to say that you haven't gone to college or you're not smart, but like you're putting this in a legal document that is going to be public, that is going in front of a judge, another supposedly highly educated individual. And if I'm having a problem with following what you're trying to say in the paragraph, in the content of your argument, because I'm so worried about your grammar, that becomes a problem. If that's a problem for me, I can guarantee you that's a problem for a judge. Because if it's an easy read, I pay attention to the comment or the content and what you are actually trying to say and what your client is trying to say. When I pay attention to grammar, I'm just paying attention to how much of an idiot this lawyer must be. Like, there's a when you said that to your sister, she was like, "What?" I will say watching court cases made me talk more proper. I don't know how many times in talking to my family I've said, may I be heard? Yeah, or on the record. Like I say on the record to Mr. Squid all the time, and he's like, what? He's like, not everything needs to be on the damn record. I'm like, I can't help it. I can't spell college graduate, but now I is one. Y'all make me laugh. Let's get back into this because we're trying to get through this, and the faster we get through this, the faster we get to the rebuttal, which is always fun. I actually prefer to read responses over initial complaints because I like to hear the back and forth of how people interpret it, how the defendant interprets the facts that the plaintiff laid out. By these and other behaviors, Baldoni, Heath, and Wayfarer engaged in harassing contact and failed in their obligations to investigate complaints of workplace harassment, prevent inappropriate and harassing behaviors on set, and provide, this is not necessary either anymore. This is not necessary. I've heard Megan comment about this like 4 times, at least 4 times, where this comma is no longer needed. And provide avenues for, which tells me the age of the lawyer, and provides avenues for cast and crew members to safely raise concerns to Wayfarer in May of 2023. Outside Investigation Counsel for Wayfarer sent a letter to Miss Lively's counsel claiming that they had recently been retained by Wayfarer to conduct a neutral third-party investigation of Blake Lively's complaints for SA, or harassment, retaliation, failure to investigate, prevent, and or remedy harassment, and aiding and abetting harassment. Wayfarer's outside investigation counsel asked to interview Lively and have an introductory call with her counsel first. Lively's counsel engaged in an introductory call with Wayfarer's outside investigation counsel and another investigator on February 12th of 2025. See letter from Miss Lively's counsel to investigation counsel February 14th of 2025. Attached here too is Exhibit E. The investigators acknowledged that Wayfarer had a legal mandate to conduct an investigation and confirmed that Wayfarer had not previously conducted any such investigation. The investigators confirmed that Wayfarer controlled the investigation budget and the documents and information that the investigators would receive. The investigation would be attorney-client privileged, and that as the holder of the attorney-client privilege, Wayfarer would have the right to all of the investigators' interview notes, memoranda, determinations, and conclusions, which Wayfarer could keep completely secret if it chose to do so. The Wayfarer Parties Counsel would have the right to sit in on the investigators' interviews with any of the Wayfarer parties, and it was entirely Wayfarer's decision as to whether the findings of the investigators were memorialized in a written report, and if there were a written report, it would be solely up to Wayfarer to decide whether that report would ever be provided to the cast and crew, Sony, or the general public. The investigators acknowledged having read Miss Lively's complaint and confirmed that if these incidents occurred as alleged, there are significant problems within the organization that they will have to contend with. Yet the investigators conceded that they would not be making any recommendations for corrective actions that Wayfarer should take based on the investigation findings, which they described as beyond the scope of their work for Wayfarer. it would be solely up to Wayfair to decide what to do, if anything. I almost said what, if anything, to do. Oh, wait, that phrase. And Hung Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat. Flash comes now, sir. This is a Wendy's. Jeez, Pete, y'all. Oxford comma for life. I've heard Megan, and Megan's the writer, so that it is no longer used, but people that still use it or say that it, no offense to you, LB, but people of a certain age will always put it there. And I am I'm possibly one of those people. Maybe we adjust subject matter jurisdiction. Oh my goodness. Like, oh, Hilda. Angel, why are we so upset? Well, can you say that again? I didn't quite get that. No. Okay. No. Okay. You want to come up here? Come on. No. Then I can't. Here go. No. Wayfair's belated launch of an investigation in 2025 is a damning admission of Wayfair's failure to investigate events that were reported to Wayfair in 2023. It also demonstrates the hypocrisy of Wayfair's claim that it simply wants all the facts to be released for public consumption. A privileged and confidential internal investigation that is financed and controlled by the same Wayfair executives who have been sued for harassment and retaliation is not an exercise in transparency, but a sham. This is especially so when litigation has already been initiated that will allow for neutral fact finders to determine Wayfair's liability based on documents and testimony under oath provided by Mr. Baldoni, Heath, and Sarowitz. The Wayfair parties ignored their legal mandate to conduct an investigation in 2023 when they indisputably became aware of multiple HR complaints, and their cynical attempt to launch a rigged investigation now makes a mockery of their legal obligations. And while it is helpful that Wayfair has finally conceded its legal obligation to investigate harassment and other concerns raised on the set of the film, Wayfair continues to ignore its legal obligation to cease retaliating against Miss Lively for reporting those concerns. The parties negotiate a contract rider regarding Miss Baldoni's and Heath's conduct on the set of It Ends With Us. On May 2nd, 2023, the WGA, made up of 2 American labor unions representing more than 16,000 writers in film, television, radio, and online media, went on strike in connection with the labor dispute with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. The film temporarily halted production in June of 2023 as a result of the writers picketing. On June 15th, 2023, Wayfair and Mr. Baldoni announced the continued halted production of the film due to the ongoing WGA strike and lost days experienced from picketing. While WGA strike was underway July 14th, 2023, the American Actors Union, known as SAG-AFTRA, a labor union that represented about 160,000 people in the entertainment industry. Hey, you're too tall to stand under there, baby. Want that? Okay. You want to go down there and eat it? Okay. Here you go. Here you go. Yeah, here you go. I love you. I love you. I will get your pad. I think we might have made it through our stuff. I will be right back. I very, 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 very much appreciate the fact that you realize that I am mama first and YouTuber second. I love you. Oh no, I'm only in my mid-30s. Yeah, I think it's a I'm just not. I think it's a 30 and above thing. So she already had one today. She only gets one a day. Otherwise, we have a GI problem, if you know what I mean. A labor union that represents about 160,000 people in the entertainment industry, including actors, recording artists, radio personalities, and other media professionals, began to strike due to a labor dispute with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. The WGA strike ended September 20th or 27th of 2023, and the SAG-AFTRA strike ended on November 9th of 2023. Before returning to production, Miss Lively and a female cast member discussed their mutual dread at going back to the film set. On October 13th of 23, Miss Lively texted that cast member sharing that she keeps getting hits of the experience in really upsetting ways. The female cast member agreed and expressed regret about the situation. At this point, after Lively and others had unsuccessfully attempted to address and resolve the ongoing problems on set, and having significant concerns about the return to production, Lively worked with her attorneys to address the conditions described above and create a safe environment on set for herself and others. On November 9th, 2023, Lively's attorneys provided Wayfair's attorneys with a document entitled Protections for Return to Production. Attached here to is Exhibit A, also mentioned in detail like 20 pages ago. This. Yeah, there's a reason that they tell you to eat bananas when you are when you have a case of the bubble guts. Just saying. And thank you, Flash fan. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. People complain about it sometimes, but it's like, I'm sorry. I love y'all and I love hanging out with y'all, but she's my world and she comes first. So, and also y'all can take care of yourself from time to time. She can't yet. She relies on me for everything. In conveying the Protections for Return to Production document, Ms. Lively requested that Wayfair agree to implement a plan that would enable everyone to return to work and complete the film with adequate protections and ensure a safe set moving forward. On November 11th, 23, counsel for Wayfair indicated that Wayfair, Sony, and production respectfully acknowledge that your client has concerns regarding safety, professionalism, and workplace culture. Although our perspective differs in many aspects, ensuring a safe environment for all involved is paramount, irrespective of differing viewpoints. Regarding your outlined requests, we find most of them not only reasonable, but also essential for the benefit of all parties. Yeah, and Ung Hung Hero message me after this stream. I want to make sure that y'all are good. On November 15th of 23, Wayfair, through It Ends With Us Movie LLC, agreed to the terms in a contractual rider executed on January 19th of 24 and attached here to is Exhibit B. The provisions of the contractual rider directly track the misconduct that Lively contemporaneously reported. Among the contract rider's provisions, the first provision required that an intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when Miss Lively is on set. A second provision required that with respect to artists, any and all rehearsal, filming, reviewing of video playback or dailies and or any other interaction with any scene involving simulated time or partial unclothed shall be restricted to those persons with essential business reasons for being present, as approved by Lively, and Todd Black is further described in the nudity rider attached to Schedule 1. Ugh. The third provision required that there is to be no spontaneous improvising of any scenes involving intimate time, simulated or unclothed with respect to Miss Lively, scenes involving Lively that involve kissing, depictions of smexy time, or any other intimate physical touching must be contained in the screenplay, i.e. most up-to-date draft approved by Lively in writing, choreographed in advance in the presence of the intimacy coordinator, and may only proceed as choreographed with the consent of all parties in advance. The fourth provision requires that touching and or comments on Lively's physical appearance must only be made in connection with the character and scene work, not as to Lively's personally, except as written into the screenplay or is strictly required in connection with makeup or costume preparation. There is to be no physical touching, including hugging, of Lively, her on-set personnel, and or her employees. The fifth provision required that there be no discussion with Miss Lively of personal experience with, that, or as it relates to conduct with spouses or others. And this was all in that document. So this is where I feel like lawyers just make shit up to make shit up. They put that document 30 pages ago. We're on page 51. They put that document up here in its entirety. This. They put the whole thing. So why they're taking the time and effort to repeat it is a waste of time and money. So I am going to skip this because we've read those already. They just decided to repeat them for what seems like no reason, except to waste words and convolute shit. Like you could say see above for full details, and they also attached it as an exhibit. So they mention it 3 times. Sounds like working on that set would be a bummer. Maybe it's because I was military and I worked with mostly men, but like none of that shit bothers me. I think it's creepy from certain people, but like you want to be a creep, you let your freak flag fly for the world to see. And if the world judges you, that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. Like, like if you want to, I'm not going to tell you what to do or not to do, because I am not going to be responsible, but because I am also not responsible for your conduct. Hi, do you want the other one? Okay. There you go. Because you are tiny. Hi. Like I'm one of those people that like I didn't like what I heard, like some of the things that I heard, but I also didn't like it. I know that there is a difference between locker room talk, what men say, and like how they actually treat people. Like there's a big difference. And like maybe it's just me, but I don't it doesn't bug me like it bugs some people. Like I just ignore you. I think you're stupid and I just don't talk to you. Like like if you post pictures of things on social media that I don't like, I just won't talk to you. It's not that I don't like people, or I just choose not to engage with those people because I don't want to be associated with that. But if that's what you want to do, more power to you. Who am I to stop someone from talking to someone or saying what they want to say just because I am offended? Because if I'm offended, I just don't listen. It's, like, how do you feel about the assumed I hate it. Like, BL can never hack it in the restaurant industry. This whole debacle over nothing. Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things of like, how often someone calls me a bitch and like someone makes a comment about, oh, you need to lose weight. Like I had someone make a comment, you're looking very puffy lately. And they said it, and I can't even remember who said it because I'm not offended by it anyway. They were generally concerned. And I was like, no, I just ate too much over the holidays. Like it's good. All is good. And it was like, it's just like people will comment on things and you just ignore it or make a joke of it and you move on. Like I was not offended or anything. Because if you get offended by everything, you're going to have a really rough life. A really rough life. Ugh. The contract writer expressly referenced the parties' actor loan-out agreement dated May 5th, 2023, and deemed the terms of the condition incorporated into that agreement. Footnote 21. On December 4th, 2023, Angie Giannetti reached out to Lively to acknowledge that Lively's experience on the set had been beyond challenging and to reiterate her own and Sony's support for Miss Lively and her relief that Todd Black, who was brought in to oversee the safety of the cast and crew, was now on board. She stated, "So glad Todd is now in it and overseeing everything, but wanted to check in, offer anything I can. I know this has been beyond challenging to say the least. We at the studio want to support you the best we can." Footnote, that loan-out agreement contains an express choice of law provision in which the parties selected California law to govern issues respecting it. govern issues, respecting issues regarding the contract's validity, interpretation, performance, and any other dispute arising from the services contemplated in the agreement. There was that text. The all-hands in-person meeting provided for in the contract rider occurred on January 4th, 2024. They described that in detail earlier. Like, huh? You're right. I'm allowed to ask them, did it? No, it was just one of those things of like, no, and guys, like, the person was not saying it to be, and I can't even remember who said it. It was not a troll. It was someone genuinely concerned. And you know what? I can appreciate that. Like, it wasn't like a girl, you look like you gained some weight. What's going on? It's like, your face looks puffy. Are you okay? Because that can be a sign of illness. Like, I was not offended. I just laughed and said, nope, ate too much during the holidays. We'll figure it out later. But like, I'm not offended by that. Like, that person was not their intent. It's all about intent too. And this person was not intending to be, this person was not intending to be that, will not be tolerated in the chat. I'll be graded, corrected, and refined to express humor. Yeah, it's, guys, like, I appreciate you sticking up for me. I appreciate it. But I remember this comment because it made me laugh, but it also was like how things can get misconstrued. Some people would take offense to that, but it was the intent of the person to see if I was physically okay. Like, not to judge my weight or, so like, it is fine. Y'all are good. I appreciate your concerns, but like, this person, like, I can't even remember who it was. I'm pretty sure they're still here, or either that or they rage quit or something else. I don't know. It could be either one. But that was not meant to be like, it was not implied to be rude. It was implied to be of concern. So I can, yeah. Like, you supported me when I was attacked, so I'm loyally serving. Not my fault. Well, I supported you when you were attacked because, 1, it was the right thing to do. 2, you were attacked by Tori the Flea because you associate with me. And she not only did that, she not only attacked your character, but she attacked your skin color, which I can't stand. Like, not that I care about the color of people's skin, but when someone is attacked based on the color of their skin, I have a problem with that. And I will stand up for that shit, especially when it's my little brother. Before production resumed as described above, the meeting was not an ambush, nor a surprise. It was precisely the meeting that called for under the contract rider. The meeting was attended by Baldoni, Heath, Alex Sachs, Todd Black, and Tony's Angie Giannetti, as well as Lively and her husband, who attended as Miss Lively's request as another designated representative, as provided in the contract, given the subject matter of the meeting. At the January 4th meeting, the parties discussed a list of 20 examples of the behaviors that gave rise to the contract rider from her contemporaneous notes. These behaviors are listed in full earlier in the complaint at paragraph 3. Neither Mr. Baldoni nor Mr. Heath denied the veracity of Lively's examples. Lively requested that Baldoni and Heath agree that such behaviors would no longer take place as memorialized in the language of the writer, and Baldoni and Heath agreed. Production of the film resumed on January 5th and concluded February 9th. On January 14th, before all of the cast had returned to the set, Lively reassured one cast member that you'll enjoy it this time and you don't need to hug anyone is the best part. Lively continued, and he won't touch you or shouldn't. I don't think he or Jamie will. Lively said she felt solid. It's a professional set and we're getting good work. That professional set was the result of an 8-month process in which Lively attempted to privately resolve concerns of misconduct and harassment by Baldoni and Heath. Wayfair failed to investigate those concerns, leading it to Miss Lively to negotiate for workplace protections to remedy the toxic environment on set. Understanding the risk she was taking by speaking up, Miss Lively asked, and Wayfair agreed in a contract not to retaliate against her in any way, including in the press. While Miss Lively remained disturbed, Mr. Squid is home. I can hear the garage door. Miss Lively remained disturbed by her experiences. She trusted that Wayfair would honor the contract it signed. Instead, the Wayfarer parties launched a vicious and well-funded retaliation campaign against her, which has grown more aggressive and harmful over the past several months. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. He's in the garage. Miss Lively led the edit of Sony's cut of the film. This was my other point. There was more than one cut of the film. Miss Lively led the edit of Sony's cut of the film, which was the version released in theaters. Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties have falsely claimed that Lively took over the movie as a self-aggrandizing power play. The defendant's entire accusation would rely on Miss Lively's and others fabricating malicious claims nearly a year before an edit, though Baldoni and Heath repeatedly engaged in inappropriate behavior with witnesses and cooperators in real time. And then, even more complicated, their accusation would have required Miss Lively to rely on the hope that the Wayfarer parties would sign a document acknowledging and agreeing to cease the detailed and specific misconduct described in her claims. After writing letters of apology to other female cast 8 months before, and also, most critically, the supposed master plan they absurdly accused Lively of would rely on the hope that Wayfarer would never, in that 1.5-year process, launch an HR investigation into to clear their innocent names, but instead allow their film to be stolen from them. The assertion Lively bullied her way into edit room is not only false, but it was not even necessary. If she was not happy with the film, she could have easily just moved on to her next project. She had for directing jobs before, during, and since the film. If she wanted to direct, she could do that at any time, and without having to deal with Wayfarer parties, whom she very clearly wanted nothing to do with. He's home. Is Daddy home? Okay. The story of the edit of the film is not relevant to Lively's claims of harassment and retaliation. It is a red herring designed to distract the public away from the grave misconduct by the defendants. The Sony cut is the film that it was chosen to be released in theaters. Miss Lively led the Sony cut with their support, working in close collaboration with Sony and Colleen Hoover. Sony released the film's trailer on May 16th of 24. The next day, a Sony executive wrote Lively about the huge response from the public to that release, calling it a beautiful start and thanking Miss Lively for her contributions. Hoy. People know not to talk bad to Squid about Squid to me. They won't like my response to them doing that. You know, I love y'all. Like... I just, Flash, they're discussing. You shouldn't even worry about the idiots say, especially from that trash. They don't even have the privilege of even saying your name. Yeah, yeah. I don't think she ever changed her name. I don't think she ever legally changed her name. That's a thing these days. Plus, changing your name is actually really, really hard. So that's really, really hard. Because it's like you not only think you have to go down to Social Security and get a new Social Security card, but now you have to change it on everything, including mortgages with banks, car loans. You have to change it on everything. And it's a pain in the ass. Ugh. On June 19th, and I'm not going to read through these because this is just the metadata of when it was read and or not the metadata, so to speak, but just, the information on who sent it and when it was read. On June 19th, one of the film's producers described Miss Lively's edit of the film as excellent, and her work is truly beautiful. On August 11th, after the film's release, Sony executive Miss Giannetti wrote to Lively, Blake, $50 million, your blood, sweat, and tears, brilliant, smart, heart, and soul in every single frame. My God, it's incredible. Thank you 50 million times, and it's only Saturday night. The story Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties have told since Lively filed her opening complaint is completely at odds with their behavior when trying to produce and market the film. Before Miss Lively sued, Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties were perfectly happy to exploit Lively's star power as well as her access to A-level filmmakers, editors, and more, notwithstanding their complaints today that Lively supposedly seized control of Baldoni's film. That did not stop Baldoni from proudly marketing the film as his work on release. Indeed, although Baldoni privately confessed that he did not even see the final cut of the film until the premiere because they weren't allowed to, he repeatedly and publicly took credit for the film, while Lively generally downplayed her contributions. No. One, because nobody can pronounce my damn name to begin with. There's this too. It's like, I haven't changed my name because I'm not married. Maybe one day. Not really sure. Kind of like, Here's a text that wasn't quoted. Well, if you decide to change your mind last minute, let me know. Let's figure it out together. I'm going to be there. That's just different timing and holding areas and theaters and all things you can imagine. It's still our film. It would be very hard for me to sit and watch the final film for just the first time at the premiere. Just cheer for us when our names come up. Sending all love. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it either. They make it sound like I'm not Polish, but I'm Czech. You can infer what you want from that. So I am not Polish, but it's not far away. So they make it sound like that, okay, yeah, I haven't seen it either, that it was a choice. From what I understand, really? Are we beyond that? Like, aren't we in 2025? We're beyond that. And that, yeah, I don't make fun of anybody's name based on what it might have been, or Flash fan, you dodged a bullet on that one. I'm just saying. I don't know her, but based on that statement, you dodged a bullet. The irony of Wayfarer's complaints should be lost on no one. It is Mr. Sarowitz, Mr. Baldoni, and Heath that have reaped the greatest financial benefits from Lively's hard work about which they now complain. The film quickly became Wayfarer's most lucrative project, to the record-breaking tune of over $350 million. Revealing in the financial success of the film, they now incredibly accuse Lively of hijacking. Sarowitz boasted in one interview that the film was #1 in the country as of August 13th of 2024. Footnote 22. When one interviewer congratulated Sarowitz on the film's impressive $50 million opening weekend, that's not really that impressive, but whatever, especially with the cost of a movie ticket being what it is these days. Sarowitz responded that the film actually grossed $80 million worldwide, about 2.5 times what Wayfarer expected, remarking, "We're thrilled with that." Footnote 23. Once the film was well established in theaters, and this is how much I don't watch movies, I had never heard of this movie before this. I'd heard of Justin Baldoni, I've heard of Blake Lively, but I'd never heard of this movie. Wayfarer took to Instagram to promote the film's addition to streaming service giant Netflix, encouraging users to watch the blockbuster film at home, 24, and later celebrated that the film was #1 movie in the U.S. on Netflix, footnote 25. It seems so long as Lively stayed silent about Wayfarer's misconduct, defendants were content to continue collecting paychecks from the film they now claim she hijacked. They claim she wanted to hijack. It is only once she spoke out about the harassment and retaliation to which the defendants subjected her to that they decided to attempt to convince the public that Lively ruined the film. And defendants have done so even though throughout the process, Mr. Baldoni engaged in stunning duplicity, praising Lively to her face and in public, while discreetly disparaging her in private and plotting to bury her alongside the truth of his own behavior. Here's the thing. Praising her to her face and in public. To her face, okay, whatever. But in public, like, you don't air your dirty laundry in public. You don't air your dirty laundry in public. If you have problems with people, you address it privately. You don't go on an interview or a YouTube stream and air your dirt. I have problems with people airing their dirty laundry. You don't like somebody? Fine. But to continually make content about about how much you don't like people or how much you perceived that you were wronged by people, you don't air that shit in public. You don't air that shit in public. You don't air that shit in public. You keep your dirty laundry behind closed doors. So for him to go on to go in an interview and not praise her when she's the female lead, okay. Of course, if you don't praise her acting ability, you're going to ruin your film. So like, it only makes sense to me. Like, I don't air dirty laundry in public. I don't put my shit on Discord. I don't put my shit in a live stream. Like, you might know I have issues with someone and I might like say I have issues with people, but I will never physically name those people because guess what? That's not appropriate. So for him to go in an interview and talk about appropriateness is to talk about her negatively would not be appropriate in promoting a film. My personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with me, but like, you don't air dirty laundry in public. Like, I'm not trying to be perfect in like a public phrase, like, but like, you don't air dirty laundry in public. Like, I just don't. Like, that's not how I operate. Like if it's like even like baby Squid, when we're out in public and she throws a temper tantrum, I will deal with it later. I tell her to stop. We figure it out. We work through it. And then we discuss it when we get home. Like, if I ever disagree with Mr. Squid out in public, I keep my mouth shut. I suck it up. I say, hey, we need to talk when we get home. Or he says we need to talk when we get home. And we figure it out later. We don't fight in public. Like, we don't really fight a lot, but we don't argue in public. You keep that shit behind closed doors, and you don't, like, we're not perfect by any means. And we don't try to be like those, everything has to be perfect on the outside. But like, you don't bully people in public, or you don't say, especially when you're trying to make money off of a film, you don't disparage the leading female, the female lead in public. It's just no. While secretly disparaging her in private and plotting to bury her alongside the truth of his own behavior. Not to be outdone, Sarowitz loudly promoted the film and its box office successes, all while financing defendants' efforts to destroy Lively and her family. Even though the film had turned out very well, and Wayfair had made a lot of money on it in late August of 2024, Sarowitz confessed to a third party that if Lively or Reynolds ever cross the line ever, I will go after them. He declared, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas. There were 39,000 bodies. There will be 2 when I'm done. See, and they already repeated this. So all of this information was already repeated up there. So this is just wasting time and money. Not dead, but you're dead to me. So that kind of dead, but dead to a lot of people. If they're going to get me to that point, if they ever get me to that point, I'll make it worth their while because I'm going to spend a lot of money to make sure the studio is protected. He made this disturbing pledge after divulging to another individual the film's New York premiere that he was prepared to spend $100 million to ruin the lives of Lively and her family. All right, footnote 22, WGN. It ends with us, pop-up, nonprofit partnership, YouTube, 416, WGN News, Wayfair Studios, and Man Enough Instagram, and Wayfair Studios Instagram posts. Wait. They're really not that impressive. I had to break Mrs. JKD Buck of that. She wanted to argue and fight anywhere, everywhere, in front of everyone. I told her that won't fly and prepare for paperwork if it continued. Yeah, I'm like, it's okay to say, like, I don't agree with that. Like, it's okay to express your disagreement, but like, if you're going to have an all out drag out argument, like that shit is not appropriate. Like, it's not only to protect the privacy of the people involved, but like, I don't want to see people argue when I go out to like Walmart or, I always say Walmart because that's like my most frequent store these days. Like, I don't want to see that when I go shopping or when I go out for a drink with my friends. Like, y'all want calm and quiet. Like, yes, you have a toddler. You want to get mad at the toddler for acting like a toddler. But like, you address the behavior issues at the time. You move on. Like, I've had times where in Walmart the other day we had a knockout drag out. All hell broke loose, like toddler meltdown. And I took her in a quieter place of the store because I literally wanted to just take my whole cart and just leave it and walk out. But I took her in a quiet place. We made sure we calmed down. I distracted her with something and then we moved on. And then like I told her when we got to the car that we don't act like that in public. Like, we will leave the store if it gets bad enough. But I didn't yell at her in public. Well, I didn't really yell at her at all, but like I didn't address like, you need to stop, you're done. Like none of that was in public. There's no need to argue. You're always right. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, and we don't really have arguments. It's more like disagreements, but like nothing, I don't know. I think we've been through enough shit in our lives where we're just, yeah. Ugh. Mr. J.K. Dibbuk's father was apparently very loud, rude, and wasn't good around people. The apple didn't fall far from a tree. Her brother warned me too. Yeah. If the brother knows, then, I don't know. And then I think this is where we are on page 58. We made it through 169, we made it through 69, no pun intended. Oh, you got your sunglasses on? You want to show everybody your sunglasses? Yeah. Since we can't find your other ones? I just skipped that I wear my sunglasses at night. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, my mom would too. But I'm also not for public embarrassment is like good for like a 10, 12-year-old that should know better or a teenager. Public embarrassment I'm all good with. But someone who doesn't know any better quite yet, I'm a little hesitant with like, the public shaming. But I do tell her when she's throwing a small temper tantrum, I'm like, I can guarantee. Hold on, go down and get it. My favorite phrase is when she hits me, one of these days you're going to run into someone who's going to hit you back. Like she's going to mess with a kid who's going to hit her back. I can guarantee when she's throwing a hissy fit over the fact that I didn't let her pull all the cereal off the shelf, not one person in Walmart feels bad for her. Like, you gonna say bye? All right, so we left off at E, so we actually have a good stopping place this time. We are going to see if anybody is live right now that we can redirect to.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Whoa, that was weird.
Hi.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I just found a new section of studio that I didn't know about. Now I don't have to go all the way back. Mo and Broken Baker. We went to Mo last time. Hold on. Do content live. See, they won't. They can't. You can't do redirects from control room. You have to go out and go back into the video details and customization. So they don't make that very easy. So if I could talk to a YouTube person, and if I could talk to a YouTube person. Oh, these are upside down, but how's my upside down glasses look? Let's see. There we go. How's that? Hey, baby girl. Like, Bauer's doing cornflake. I think we're gonna go to Mo in this verdict. Florida versus Jermaine Bass verdict new trial. So y'all Tell Mo I said hi. Y'all have a great day. Take care. I will come back. This is my only planned. This is my only planned stream for the day. But in the event that, because we know our least favorite lawyer likes to, we know our least favorite. We know our least favorite lawyer likes to drop motions on Fridays. So if anything happens today, I will do a live stream. But other than that, this is my only planned stream for the day, and I will see you guys later. Say bye. 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 See you. Bye, guys.